Hey Mariah, thank you for hopping on a quick call with me. How are you doing?
I'm doing really good. How are you?
I'm good. So, would you maybe like to introduce yourself a little bit to everyone? Who are you? What is
Um,
it that you do?
so I'm Mariah, and I've been working in kind of a healthcare system for a while before, and now like in the program I'm working on, working for like books and doing
Yeah.
hopefully more website design and
hmm
stuff and CEO. So
Yes. Yeah, kind of changing your niche, right? From social, as a social worker to working with authors. Very cool.
yeah.
So, before joining the program, like, what were some things that you were struggling with? Like when it came to like getting started in the freelance world.
Um, I absolutely had no clue. I was completely clueless. I didn't nothing. I knew nothing. I honestly felt really stuck. I felt like there's just been like I'm just still learning, right? Like how to like other than going to college, I had no idea how people kind of grew into that career or learned those skill sets. Um, so when I found about this program, I was kind of excited that like this is something I can do. I don't have to pay for like student debt to
hmm
learn things and start a
Exactly.
career.
Yeah, and I think probably with this program, it's like always updated, right? So if you go to school for things like this, then what you learn like 4 years ago when you just get started up to when you graduate, it's already really not relevant anymore. So yeah. So
Yes.
what would you say has been like the most valuable thing uh out of the program for you?
I think the skills you guys teach is really great, and that's awesome because I really wanted to learn the skills before I started. That's really what I was focused on.
Mm.
But afterwards, kind of like some of the life skills that we've learned in this program, I think I have applied a lot more of that. Um, the accountability partner to me was such a weird concept, and now I have like this person I talk to almost every day
Oh,
kind of like making sure like hey I'm reaching these goals, and it's crazy because if I didn't do that I wouldn't be reaching these goals, so you guys have kind of
mm.
taught me like just a better
Yes.
way to improve like just my daily life stuff. So
Oh, yeah, that
and
is cool.
um my favorite lesson I learned was to just keep going, the progress over perfection.
Yes.
That has kept me
Good.
going.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you're doing really well. Like even though like you have quite a intense job, like you're still like moving the needle forward. So it's awesome.
Yeah, just keep moving, and I love that you guys have been so kind about that because I was like, oh, it's been 90 days. Like, oh no. And then you guys have just been like, oh, like we'll just keep focusing on this program. And you guys have been great coaches, and just it's been a really wonderful system. Learning how to ask for help has been a big
Mm.
one. Before starting this program, I was really, even in the beginning, I just didn't know to like ask the coaches or what to ask. And now I'm like, oh, I can ask you guys this, or I can like, I'm not alone in this program.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and I think even like after the one-on-one support ends, like even then you still always have the community to ask questions to, and you never have to do it alone. So
No, and the
yeah.
community is great too because I read other people's questions and I read your guys'
Mhm.
response, and I'm able to learn so much just from
Yeah.
being able to see what you guys are talking about.
Cool. All right. So, like, what would you say is like your, I think we kind of already covered this. What is your biggest accomplishment since joining the program?
I think like daily improvement in my life for sure, as I'm still working on kind of getting um my skills. Like I'm still just not quite um like confident in my skills. The fact that I've continued and are learning, I think is a huge accomplishment. And just like from this program, I've learned that I still have a lot to learn. Like I can do so much more, I guess, if that makes sense.
hmm
I'm really realizing how sheltered I was. And I was very scared before I even signed up. And now I'm like, oh, whoa, like look at all these doors.
Nice. Yeah, cool. A constant work in progress, I guess. Hmm. So before joining the program, like, what were your thoughts about investing into it, and why did you decide to do it anyway?
Um, so I was hesitant because there's a lot of, scams about people being like, oh, you spend money on this and then you make money by selling it or something. And there's just a lot of, hesitant
There's a
stuff
lot of
out
stuff
there.
out there.
So that was definitely like a hesitant thing for me. I kept being like in the interview, I'm like, but do you learn skills? Like I wasn't sure if this was just going to be like one of those things where they're like, oh, just believe in yourself and you'll get there. Like, um, but my husband and I were listening to it and they were talking about how the coaches stick with you. And my husband was like, no, like people don't offer that. Like, even if you go into a trade or you go to school, people aren't like, oh, we're going to make sure that like, we're going to help you even afterwards. We're going to keep going. Like, we're by your side,
Hmm.
trying to make sure that you make a career out of this. And that's, my husband was like, that's a really good sign. And so we agreed to invest into it.
All right. Thanks for sharing. And what if someone is like watching this right now and they are like deciding whether or not they should join? What would you tell them?
Um, I mean, everything depends on the person, of course, but I think that there's no harm in trying something. As I said, I'm learning in this program that it's okay to invest money and only learn so much, but you've learned something and you can take away a lot from this program. And I think that's worth something, even if it like doesn't end up the way you thought it would. The fact that you have these resources now and you've learned all these things. I think that's kind of a valuable thing, especially when it's like forever in this situation, right? Like you always have access to it, or
Yeah.
these like the skill books and stuff. That's a pretty good investment, I think, to have, especially when it keeps updating too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good point as well. Like sometimes you have like a certain path in your mind that you want to go to, right? And then down the road, maybe it's not going exactly the way that you want it to go, but in the end, you will still get there. So it's cool. Thank you so
Yeah, I
much
think
for
it's okay
sharing.
to yeah, I think it's okay to invest and not always do what you thought you were gonna do, but
Mhm.
you can learn something and you can get something from it. Yes. Like an example, my friend went to hair school, and that doesn't mean she was like, maybe I'll do hair for a year or two and then give it up. But at least I did something for a while and had fun with it. So,
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes we gotta give it a try. All right. Thank you so much for sharing.